Amy, now I can see you. Can you hear us all right? Can I get a thumbs up?
Should give you
Yep. All right. 10-minute warning, so if everyone can start to get quiet, please, so we can finalize things. I do appreciate it. We are live online right now.
Where am I? I'll pick myself. I'm not in here.
This is
Serena.
This is you, isn't it? Thank you.
So it should go red when you're ready to speak. It'll have to show on that.
Serena did?
But I
Thank
don't think
you.
we're in a mode for this to
She
actually.
Well, if
likes
they
to
want
play
to
with her
speak,
machine.
they have to put themselves.
Correct.
Now, what does this mean? I'll take those off.
I don't know. Go ahead and select it.
All right.
So.
Her Mary, she's there.
Well,
It's trying to show you, for the most part,
we'll kind of roll with it, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not gonna affect anything in formalities, if you will. We can still.
Manual, whatever you gotta do.
So-
We'll get the meeting.
It's more formality, so.
We got it. We'll get her.
It's really sad.
Nobody's coming out tonight to attack us anyway. Good goal.
You over there?
Britney Spears is up there. Yeah. Where's
I'm not sure you're aware that everybody can see that.
So is Mary the one?
Oh, I think that's. Oh, Audrey, turn on, volume, 2.
Should I say that?
Or me. Volume, Mars available.
Oh, look at this. He is here.
I am here. Yeah.
Wouldn't you turn over?
Oh, no. My wife's driving in the rear suspension spring.
Ooh.
Mounting broke on the back left tire. So the thing backed into the car. Stay where it needs to be, so that car is dead. Dead in the water right now.
You know what happens? I think a lot of that stuff gets brittle when it's so cold.
That's what I was thinking too. Good things for going down the highway.
Yeah.
I just couldn't see Lyndall's name.
Oh.
You have to get towed.
I will. It's sitting in Watertown right now, but I'll figure my garage guy is closed now.
Yeah.
I'll call him tomorrow and see if he's got.
That's kind of. I didn't get here till almost 5 too. I was waiting for my. I just got an oil change. Didn't get it back to me till 6.
Wow.
I'm wonderful. Okay.
So in other words, I think we start if they don't connect. That's our problem.
Yep. All right. I'll call the meeting to order. We will have a roll call by the county clerk, maybe.
Lloyd, get that present. There you go.
We have 24 present and 6 absent. I'm sorry, 25. Mike Kelly's here.
4 absent and 1 on. 1 open seat. All right.
28 present and 2 absent, and that's final.
2 Okay, thank you. Well, that worked. Excellent. Step closer. All right. I have a pledge of allegiance. Could we please rise? And Supervisor Johns, why don't you lead us tonight?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's take a moment to reflect on what were our issues tonight. Please be seated. We are in compliance with the open meetings law, Mr. Administrator.
We are, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Was Supervisor Backlund so moved? Do I have a second? Second, Supervisor Jekyll. Any discussion? Anything we need to move? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Approval of the January 22nd, 2021 meeting minutes. Supervisor Renard.
I will move approval of the minutes as presented.
Second.
And who's second? Supervisor Morris for the second. Any discussion, changes? Anybody notice anything we missed? Seeing none. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none. We'll move on to communications.
Okay, tonight you have several things on your desk. The first communication is the notice of the public hearing, February 18th, 2021, beginning at 7 p.m. in room 205. Item B is a letter from Sheriff Milbrath regarding the resignation of Supervisor Auggie Teats. Item C is some appointments by the county board chair. Item D, additional appointments by the county board chair. Item E is the 2022 budget calendar, and item F is the treasurer's report.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. Any questions for the clerk? Any? Okay. Moving on to item number 8, the special order of business, certification of the Jefferson County Farmland Preservation Plan, Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection, DATCAP, page 9. Mr. Jekyll?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ordinance number 2020 17. Whereas section 91.16 of the Wisconsin State Statute provides that farmland preservation plan may be certified by the Wisconsin Department of Agricultural Trade and Consumer Protection for up to 10 years. And whereas Jefferson County's farmland preservation plan is set to expire on December 21st, 2021. And whereas Jefferson County Board adopted the public participation plan on February 2nd, 2019 to guide the process of amending the Jefferson County Farmland Preservation Plan. And whereas the final version of the Agricultural Preservation and Land Use Plan enacted by this ordinance can be found on Jefferson County website as listed and at the Jefferson County Clerk's Office. Whereas duly noticed public hearing before the County Board was held on December 8th, 2020, and whereas the Planning and Zoning Committee and the Executive Committee recommended enacting the draft Agricultural Preservation and Land Use Plan on January 25th, 2021. Now therefore be it ordained pursuant to Chapter 91 of Wisconsin State Statutes and Jefferson County Agricultural Preservation Plan, Land Use Plan, also known as Farmland Preservation Plan, is hereby enacted and amended based on the recommendation of the Joint Planning and Zoning Committee and Executive Committee as set forth in the attached resolution incorporated by reference. Fiscal note, there is no direct fiscal impact associated with this ordinance. Mr. Chair, I move for passage of the ordinance.
Renard second.
All right, second, okay. I will back, before we go into discussion on this ordinance, I'll back up just a little bit. Item A is certification of the Jefferson County Farmland Preservation. I should have Matt Zango, basically that's your letter in here. Could you please address the board what that means?
Sure, that's just a letter and an order from the department or DATCAP, Department of Agricultural Trade and Consumer Protection, stating that they'll certify the Farmland Preservation Plan as being in compliance with Chapter 91 and other state statutes, contingent upon county board approval. So the plan is approved by DATCAP, contingent upon the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Zhang. Okay. We've introduced the ordinance, and the number was again, Audrey, what, pardon? Was
Number 17.
17, thank you. So ordinance number 17. Questions, discussion? Had this in front of you for quite a while. We've been grinding through this for nearly getting close to 18 months to 2 years, so speak now or don't hold your peace. You had your opportunity here. I will say this, that any comprehensive plan can be amended if we find there isn't things that aren't working right a year or 2 or 4 from now. We've amended the past plan at times as well. So just so you know that this will be the plan, but it's not absolutely carved in stone and can't be changed if we run into a problem. Anything? Questions? Anybody online? See none. All in favor of passing this ordinance, amending the Jefferson County Agricultural Preservation and Land Use Plan, also known as a Farmland Preservation Plan, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, excellent. Ordinance, item C, ordinance of amending the Jefferson County Comprehensive Plan. Mr. Jacob.
Ordinance number 2020-18. Whereas section 66.1001 of the Wisconsin State Statute requires that comprehensive plan must be updated no less than once every 10 years. And whereas Jefferson County's comprehensive plan was updated on September 2nd, 2010 and on June 9th, 2020, whereas the county board adopted public participation plan on February 12th, 2019 to guide the process of amending Jefferson County Comprehensive Plan, and whereas the final version of the comprehensive plan enacted by this ordinance can be found on Jefferson County website and at Jefferson County Clerk's office, whereas a duly noticed public hearing before the county board was held on December 8th, 2020, and whereas the Planning and Zoning Committee and Executive Committee recommended enacting the draft on comprehensive plan on January 25th, 2021. Now therefore be it ordained that pursuant to section 66-1001 of the Wisconsin State Statutes of Jefferson County Comprehensive Plan is hereby enacted as amended based on the recommendation of the Joint Planning and Zoning Committee and Executive Committee as set forth in this attached resolution incorporated by reference. Fiscal note, there is no direct fiscal impact associated with this ordinance. Mr. Chair, I move for passage of this ordinance.
I have a second from Supervisor Paulson. Okay. Any questions? Discussion? As you will notice in your packet, just the way the law is written, there had to be a resolution from the committee first to the board, and then the ordinance had to be done. So there's a resolution for the Farmland Preservation Plan, and the resolution consistent with ordinance number 18 is on the next page, and that is again came from the joint committees, Planning, Zoning, and Executive Committee, basically suggesting that the board adopt it. Anything? Questions? Discussion? Again, all in favor of adopting ordinance number 18, amending the Jefferson County Comprehensive Plan, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. It is adopted. Takes us to Proclamation recognizing Supervisor Auggie Teats from Watertown.
So tonight, I humbly get to provide this to the county board for consideration. And when we worked with our staff, we had the privilege of working with Auggie for the last numerous years. It was pretty easy to put together. And I think the one thing that's kind of unique is as you look at what Auggie priorities were as an elected official, it's kind of we approved the comp plan tonight. And you think of things that Auggie was passionate about. It's a lot was involved in that comprehensive plan. It's the outdoors, it's preserving, it's the trails, it's looking at economic development and business opportunities for local communities. And that's where he was passionate about economic development and the railroad consortium. It's about people. He was huge with the Human Services Board and things related to that. And so as you look at the things that we just passed tonight, a lot of that embodies what Auggie did in his service to Jefferson County. So I present to you, whereas Auggie Teats served as a county board supervisor for District 4 from July of 2009 to December 13th of 2021. And whereas Auggie Teats also served on the Parks Committee, Board of Health, Economic Development Consortium, Human Services Board, Law Enforcement Emergency Management Committee, Human Services Board, Strategic Planning Committee, Veteran Service Commission, and the Wisconsin River Rail Transit Commission. And whereas Supervisor Teats was known for his dedication to preserving outdoor spaces and his never-ending support for the parks and trails of Jefferson County. And whereas Supervisor Teats had a passion for building the economic vibrancy of Jefferson County and showed consistent dedication to the services that supported businesses' growth over time. And whereas Supervisor Teats served on the Human Services Board and went above and beyond to advocate with legislators for funding and strong programs to serve all county residents. And whereas Supervisor Teats in all meetings expressed compassion and kind regard for the people he represented, was fair and prudent, and had great financial acumen. And whereas Supervisor Teats, as a veteran himself, oversaw aid rendered to veterans in need as a member of the Jefferson County Veteran Service Commission, and further invested his time and perspective in the development of the Jefferson County Veterans Foundation, a 501c3 founded in August of 2019, which will benefit veterans and their families far into the future. And whereas Supervisor Teats had a desire for and recognized that community wellness and healthy environments were linked to outdoor recreation. And whereas Supervisor Teats should be recognized as a leader in the area of parks and recreation and conservation. He had experience at the city, county, and state level. He had experience in Wisconsin and Illinois. He was unwavering in his advocacy for the field. This was resulted as a firsthand experience of the physical, mental, and emotional benefits that accrue to our local communities through involvement in these programs. Most of all, Auggie was a great citizen servant because he listened to and truly cared about the people he represented. And whereas the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors recognizes Supervisor Teats' public service, foresight, leadership, and thoughtfulness, which will be missed. Now, therefore, be resolved that the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors, meeting this 9th day of February 2021, does hereby honor Supervisor Auggie Teats and wishes happiness and good health in the years ahead. I humbly recommend approval of this proclamation.
So moved.
Second.
So moved on a second. So moved by Supervisor Brogler, second by Supervisor Schultz. I just want to say that Auggie was an excellent supervisor and also a good friend, and I'll miss him on this board. We will have a new supervisor eventually, but he can't be replaced. We will miss him. Supervisor Kennard.
I'd like to, the copy I have here says December 13th, 2021. I think that's a typo.
Yeah.
So we'd want to correct that.
We'll get it corrected. Anyone else? All in favor of honoring Supervisor Teats, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I didn't think so. Thank you very much. Okay, item number, public comment, excuse me. Public comment. Is anybody here for public comment on anything that is on the agenda? Seeing none. I don't think wasn't anybody signed up when I came in. Is it? Okay. All right, moves us on to human resources. Supervisor Brogler.
Resolution number 2020-42, creating one full-time events and operation manager position, eliminating one unfunded full-time fair park supervisor position, and unfunding a vacant full-time marketing specialist position at Fair Park. Currently, the Fair Park staff is responsible for the year-round events rental and county-owned events operation, using over 15 buildings, outdoor arenas, and the grounds surrounding these facilities, covering over 90 acres. Specific daily needs include determining objectives and requirements for events, customer service, building maintenance, and being on call for emergencies during events. At present, the Fair Park staff consists of a full-time Fair Park and events and county fair and park events director position, one full-time administrative assistant position, two full-time maintenance worker 2 positions, and one part-time grounds worker position. In addition, there are 2 seasonal worker positions, 2 on-site caretaker positions, and approximately 20 county fair worker positions at the Fair Park. In 2020, due to budget constraints, one full-time Fair Park supervisor position was unfunded in the 2021 budget after being vacated due to a retirement. In December 2020, the marketing specialist position became vacant following a voluntary resignation. Due to COVID-19, the majority of Fair Park events were canceled in 2020, and marketing plans and contracts were carried over to 2021. While this significantly decreased the workload for the marketing specialist position in 2021, the continued surge of events rentals scheduled in 2021 has produced an emerging need for servicing events and managing operations. Therefore, the County Fair and Park Events Director and the County Administrator recommend creating one full-time events and operation manager position, eliminating one unfunded full-time Fair Park Supervisor position, and unfunding one vacant full-time marketing specialist position. These position changes will provide consistent staffing levels needed to service new events in the future while successfully managing operations. With the savings of unfunded current vacated marketing specialist position and increased revenues from event rentals, no tax levy was requested for 2021. In future years, the newly created events and operation manager position will be sustained with increased revenues from events. On January 19, 2021, the Human Services Committee reviewed the request from the County Administrator and the County Fair and Park Event Director and recommended forwarding this resolution to the County Board. Skipping to the fiscal note, the annual cost for salary and fringe benefits of the full-time events and operation manager position is $95,420, $73,047 for the remainder of 2021. The savings from the vacancy and unfunding of the market special position is $77,170 for salary and fringe benefits in 2021. Therefore, no tax levy is required. This is a budget amendment. County Board approval requires 2/3 votes of the entire membership of the County Board, 20 votes of the 30-member board. I move for passage.
Who is the second? Supervisor Paulson? Okay. Discussion. Questions? See none. The moment of truth. Let's try our vote on this once and on our tablets and see how this goes. Oh, that came up as a second. That's me doing it, I guess. I don't know. Okay. All right. It's been motion seconded. Okay. That's how it works.
Happy yes or no?
That's how it's supposed to work.
Oh, wait. Happy yes? Okay. You good? Yes, you did.
Supervisor David?
I vote yes.
Thank you. Supervisor Roberts?
I vote yes.
Thank you. Okay, it has passed with 28 yes and 0 no. 2 absent.
Thank you. Thank you. Moves us to item 11, Land and Water Conservation Committee, resolution adopting Jefferson County's 2021 2030 Land and Water Resources Management Plan. Supervisor Falker.
All right. That's a resolution number 18 or 23?
43.
All right, resolution 23.
I'm sorry, it's 43.
43.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Resolution number 43.
Wisconsin law requires each county to have land and water resources management plan that has been approved by the county board. The Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection and Wisconsin Land and Water Board plans are approved for a 10-year period. As such, the Jefferson County Land and Water Conservation Department developed the 2021-2030 Land and Water Resources Management Plan. This plan presents information on the soil, water, and natural resources of Jefferson County and details the goals and work plan of the Land and Water Conservation Department. The plan also enables Jefferson County to obtain state funds that offset Land and Water Conservation Department staffing costs and provide state cost share funds for implementing conservation practices. The Land and Water Conservation Committee considered this resolution at its meeting on January 20th, 2021, and recommended forwarding to the county board to approve the 2021-20-2030 Land and Water Resources Management Plan. Whereas the executive summary is incorporated into this resolution, and whereas Chapter 92 of the Wisconsin statutes requires counties to establish a land and water resources management plan, and whereas the Land and Water Conservation Department developed Jefferson County's first land and water resources management plan in 2000, and is required to update the plan for 2021 to 2030, and whereas the Land and Water Conservation Department has developed a 2021-2030 Land and Water Resources Management Plan, fulfilling all these requirements of the Administration Code ATCP 50-12. And whereas the Land and Water Conservation Department held a public hearing on the Land and Water Resources Management Plan on December 1st, 2020, and whereas the 2021-2030 Land and Water Resources Management Plan establishes the goal to restore, improve, and protect land and water resources in Jefferson County and approve 10-year work plan for the Land and Water Conservation Department. And whereas the Land and Water Resources Management Plan makes Jefferson County eligible to receive Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection staffing funds and cost share funds to implement conservation practices. Now therefore be it resolved that Jefferson County 2021-2030 Land and Water Resources Management Plan is hereby approved by the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors, and the Land and Water Conservation Committee is directed to implement said plan through the annual budget process. Fiscal note: the acceptance of this plan and subsequent approval by the Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection in the state of Wisconsin Land and Water Resources Board will enable the Land and Water Conservation Department to be eligible for staffing grants and cost-sharing grants for conservation practice implementation. For 2021, and the following amounts are projected to be $151,690 for staffing funds and $45,750 for cost-sharing funds. Mr. Chair, I move for Resolution 43.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Supervisor Kennard. Discussion, questions? Seeing none. I think we do a voice vote for this. All in favor? Well, short 1 second.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Do you have a question, Supervisor Brockler?
I was thinking you were going to do a roll call.
Oh, okay. All right, this takes us to item 12. Oh, anyone opposed? I didn't ask. Hearing none, it passes. It takes us to item number 12, Parks Committee. Supervisor Johns.
Resolution number 2020-44.
44.
Thank you. Resolution number 2020-44, authorizing acceptance of bid on Dorothy Carnes Park, Kemeter Acreage Agricultural 2-year lease. Executive summary: the Jefferson County Parks Department has solicited bids for a 2-year lease of approximately 76 acres of farmland located in Dorothy Carnes County Park. The only bid was submitted by W.D. Horde and Sons Company. The Parks Committee considered this resolution at its meeting on December 14th and recommended forwarding to the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors to accept the bid of W.D. Horde and Sons Company. Whereas the executive summary is incorporated into this resolution, and whereas Jefferson County owns approximately 76 acres of farmland at Dorothy Carnes Park, which it leases through public bidding for agricultural purposes. And whereas the current agricultural lease expires on February 28th, 2021, or upon removal of leases, last seasonal crops, whichever comes first. Whereas the Parks Committee has solicited bids for a 2-year lease commencing March 1st, 2021, and ending February 28th, 2023, with the following results expressed on per acre basis. 2-year bid, $47,120, annual amount, $23,560, per acre amount, $310. Now therefore be it resolved that the county administrator is authorized to enter into a 2-year lease with W.D. Horde & Sons Company for 76 acres of farmland located in Dorothy Carnes County Park for the annual rental payment of $23,560. Fiscal note, total rent for the 2-year term is $47,120, which will be used for habitat restoration or future park development. Annual revenue of $24,000 is included in Jefferson County's 2021 budget. I move to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by I saw Supervisor Lindel's quickest there. So any further discussion? Questions? Take a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, the resolution passes. Supervisor Johns.
Resolution number 2020-45, authorizing motorized recreation grant application to fund the Jefferson County Snowmobile Trail Aid Program. Jefferson County participates in the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources Snowmobile Trail Aid Program funded by a Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources motorized recreation grant, which provides funding for the development and maintenance of approximately 199.2 miles of public snowmobile trails in Jefferson County. County Board authorization is required to apply for this grant. This resolution authorizes the Jefferson County Administrator to submit a Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources motorized recreation grant application seeking funds for snowmobile trail maintenance and development, and to administer the funds according to the grant requirements. The Parks Committee considered this resolution at its February 1st, 2021 meeting and recommended forwarding for the County Board for approval. I'm going to skip down to this. Now therefore it be resolved that the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors authorizes the Jefferson County Administrator to act on behalf of Jefferson County to submit an application to the State of Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources for any financial aid that may be available for the Snowmobile Trail Aid Program. Submit reimbursement claims along with necessary supporting documents, and take all other actions required to undertake direct and administrate the Snowmobile Trail Program and aid. Be it further resolved that Jefferson County will comply with state and federal laws and rules requiring the program to be open to the general public during reasonable hours, and will obtain from the State of Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources approval in writing before any change is made in the use of the project's sites. Fiscal note, the Snowmobile Trail Aid Program is expected to cost approximately $59,760 for the winter 2021 and 2022. 100% of this cost is funded by the grant, and the anticipated grant funds and related expenses have been included in the adopted budget for 2021. I move to approve this resolution.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Supervisor Morris. I've been advised by council we need a roll call vote on this item. It has budget ramifications.
Supervisor David,
Aye.
we have 28 yes, 0 no, and 2 absent.
Okay, thank you. Planning and Zoning Committee, item number 13. Supervisor Jacob.
To the honorable members of the Jefferson County Board of Supervisors. Jefferson County Planning and Zoning Committee, having considered petitions to amend the official zoning map of Jefferson County, filed for public hearing held on January 21st, 2021, as required pursuant to Wisconsin State statutes, notice thereof having been given and being duly advised of the wishes of the town boards and persons in the affected areas, hereby make the following recommendations. Approval of petitions as listed, denial of petition as listed, dated this 25th day of January 2021. Blaine Paulson, Secretary. That goes on to ordinance number 2020-46, amending
No,
Jefferson
19.
19,
sorry.
the resolution 46.
All right. Amending official zoning map. Whereas Jefferson County Board of Supervisors has heretofore been petitioned to amend the official zoning map of Jefferson County, and whereas petitions as listed were referred to the Jefferson County Planning and Zoning Committee for public hearing on January 21st, 2021, and whereas proposed amendments have been given due consideration by the Board of Supervisors in open session, now therefore be ordained Jefferson County Board of Supervisors does amend the official zoning map of Jefferson County as follows. And move for approval of this ordinance.
Do I have a second? Second by Supervisor Paulson. Discussion, questions? Supervisor White.
I must abstain due to a potential work conflict.
Okay. I think you can do that on your board there too when we get there.
Oh, I need to abstain also.
Okay. Any other questions, discussion? Why don't we use the board here since we have abstainers? So we'll vote on our tablets. Maybe not. Or we can move on. We have 2 abstentions. Otherwise, all in favor of this ordinance, say aye.
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 Opposed? And we have abstentions by Supervisor White and Supervisor Kennard. Okay, and then item C. Supervisor Jacob.
Resolution number 2020-46, denying petition to amend official zoning map. I want to make motion to refer this to committee.
So this will be referred back to committee. Do I have a second? Second by Supervisor Paulson. This will be referred back to committee for further discussion and evaluation. There's no vote on this then. So that moves us on to appointments by the county administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The virtue of the authority vested in me in section 59.18, parent 2, parent B of the Wisconsin statutes, I respectfully request confirmation of the following appointment. Maria Dobble of Jefferson, Wisconsin to the Board of Health for a 3-year term ending May 14th, 2024. Respectfully request confirmation.
Second.
So we had, did you catch those, who they were? Okay. Quick eyes, thank you. Any discussion, questions? All in favor of these appointments, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. They are approved. Item 15, appointments to the Human Services Board. Mr. Waymeyer. Pardon?
Supervisor.
Oh, Supervisor Jones. Okay. Supervisor Jones, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. I'm a long ways away, so. By virtue of the authority vested in the Human Service Board under section 3.06 sub 1 sub G of the County Board Rules, the Human Service Board hereby requests the County Board's confirmation of the following appointments. Sirhan Naisbira, Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin, to the Aging and Disability Resource Center Advisory Committee, ADRC, for a 3-year term ending July 1, 2024. And Michael Winnicky, Watertown, Wisconsin, to the Aging and Disability Resource Center Advisory Committee, ADRC, for a 3-year term ending July 1, 2024. Mr. Chair, I move for approval of these appointments.
Do you have a second?
Second.
I didn't catch who it was. Okay, second is Supervisor Johns. Any discussion, questions? All in favor of these appointments, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, they are approved. Takes us to public comment of a general nature. Anything of a general nature? Seeing none, takes us to announcements. I would just like to thank and ask who got us these nice Valentines. I thank you very much. Thank you, Serena. We appreciate it. We love you too. Our next county board meeting will be March 9th, 2021. We are in a process, I will let you know, we're in a process of looking to fill Supervisor Teats' seat. I've gotten some names at this point. It's a little bit of a process to go through. I do not want to move towards a special election. We've had enough elections lately. And we're already got a ballot going this spring that it'll be hard to get on. So I think we'll just do this through an appointment. I don't see anybody saying, let's have another election. So I appreciate that. But hopefully we can have somebody ready to go by April. As you do know, Supervisor Christensen has already taken the spot on Parks, filling in for Auggie in that capacity. And we will gradually fill some of his other appointments. We'll have to wait and see as to who gets appointed and what kind of time commitment they'll be able to give us before we make any more appointments to some of the other things that Auggie was on. So thank you for your patience on this. Anything else? Anybody else have announcements other than we know it's cold? Mr. Waymeyer.
So just a couple announcements. So first of all, you have the draft budget calendar in front of you. We've talked about this with the finance committee, and we thought it was just trying to get it out early to the whole board so they understood the full process. So if there's any questions, please reach out to Mark or I or any of the board members who are on the finance committee to talk through that process a little bit more. The second is, although he's been doing it a while and he's had a name, but since he's here tonight, I'm going to let everyone know. But officially, I have named Kevin Weissman as our interim parks director. We'll be going for things later on this year, but just so you know, he is officially in that role, so you'll see that new title on his signature block. But the team's been doing awesome between Kevin and the rest of the team of carrying the legacy of the park system forward and looking at new opportunities. So just making sure everyone knows that. And the last thing, continue to keep informed as we look at our rollout for COVID-19, specifically the vaccines. We're doing the best we can with the resources that we're providing. I will tell you, it's a great community effort. For those who've had the opportunity to walk through that site, we have volunteers from throughout the community. We have Team Rubicon, who's a bunch of retired veterans and folks with CDC, et cetera, running that site. And we have more than enough volunteers, which is an awesome statement about the community of trying to make this thing going. So as we try to continue to work through the plans of what we actually receive, but we'll continue to use the computer system, and we'll start working on telephone calls too, because we know we got the population that needs help with the internet side. So if you get calls, feel free to reach out to myself, refer them to our website or the team, the public health team. But just so know, they're doing an awesome job. We've probably had about 11 different health departments come take a look at what our team has done. So it's a pretty neat thing that they're working through. And the last part I always say, even though we have some good amount of numbers, the biggest comment we're getting is compassion and courtesy. And I think that's a really neat comment to say about what our team is doing out there too. So with that being said, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Waymeyer. Appreciate that. And I encourage everybody to get their vaccine when there's enough vaccine out there for you to get. That's the biggest issue right now, because we have the personnel and the expertise to get in people's arms. We just need to get it here. So, Mr. Sheriff, would you like to mention at all? We're pleased to have you back, and just briefly mention your experience for those that don't know.
Kind of a nightmare. Doing better. I ended up with it just right before Christmas. New Year's Eve.
We can't hear you on the computer.
New Year's Eve, I was in the hospital. I can yell at you. I can't give it to your kid.
They can't hear you on the computer is what happens.
Like I said, New Year's Eve, I was in the hospital again with bacterial pneumonia. Made it to March or the 8th of February, walked into the doctor's office, threw a bushel basket of blood clots, and didn't really know it. We left the doctor's office, and next day I was in the hospital, transferred to Madison. I thank you for all the cards, letters, prayers that you put forward for me. I appreciate it very much. It's been a very humbling experience with all the people that have been helpful. I truly mean that. My sheriff's office staff has done an excellent job keeping me informed. I couldn't ask for more. And county administrator has been great. So I wouldn't wish this on anybody. It is a way to lose 30 plus pounds, but hey, it's all good. On the mend.
Thank you, Paul. Another announcement I'd like to make is that Supervisor Connor Nealon's business was in the Super Bowl commercial yesterday, right before the game started. The one that had Vince Lombardi in it. And it was filmed partially in Fort Atkinson. So we didn't see you, but we appreciated it. Thank you very much. Bringing some notoriety to Jefferson County, national notoriety to Jefferson County. And lastly, I have a question. We have been instructed by Mark that we will now be not using blue sheets anymore, correct? And as far as tonight, should we be expecting something for tonight, or just the sign-in sheets good enough for tonight? Okay. I believe you want to explain why we made that move, Mark?
Certainly. These are for the committee meetings, by the way. There was a lot of confusion about what was the real document of record, whether it was the Google Doc that was out online or whether it was the blue sheet. And since not everybody's present to sign the blue sheet, we moved it out to the Google Docs. So the secretary of each one of the committees, please be responsible for making sure that those are completed. We can help you out as staff if you'd like us to locate where those Google Docs are and get them completed as well. So just reach out to myself or Tammy Yeager. She's the kind of the master of the Google Docs, and she can help you out.
Supervisor Morris.
Would it be possible, in light of that, for like the agendas for committee meetings that get printed for like the next, I don't know, month, to just add in there a statement about signing the Google Doc instead of the blue sheet? Would that be a possibility?
On the agenda itself?
Some of us are forgetful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not pointing at anybody.
Well, we'll catch it if somebody forgets to turn it in. Our staff is all over that.
The reminder might be helpful there.
Okay.
Good point. Anything else? Any other announcements? I think we have a move. We have a second to that. We have a second. There's no discussion on adjournment. All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none, we're adjourned. Stay warm, please.
Oh, little thing worked pretty good once we got the hang of it.
Yeah. Yep. The referral back. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.